How are we doing, ladies and gentlemen? The charge towards Forbidden Door ramps up as we discuss an action-packed week in AEW. We've got new champions. Do we have perhaps the TV match of the year, ladies and gentlemen? Let's get to it in just a wee second, but first, let me tell you about this podcast. AEW Mash is one of the many podcast parts which, when formed together, make the mega powers that is the Midweek Mashed Tattie Sportscast. Google us! We're the first thing that come up when you Google the Midweek Mashed Tattie. Obviously, we are. Do you want to help us, by the way? You know what you could do? You could buy me a coffee. We've got that. Even if you want, like the podcast, share the podcast. But see, the most important thing, guys, please remember to leave us
5 stars, baby! Boom!
Yes, son! Thank you as always. Coming down the aisle this week, as always, every week they are here. It is the workhorse Macho Mick and Hulk Harvey, brother. How are we doing, guys?
I'm good, brother. Oh,
Good,
yeah.
brother. I'm amped. I am amped to talk about this week of Dynamite. It's unfortunate, though, that we kick it off in a wee bit of a sad note, lads. It's weird getting into actual newsy news here. And that's obviously the news of the main event that changed. Jeff Hardy, lads.
Mm-hmm.
Was this a matter of waiting on this happening, unfortunately, or was this that big a shock?
Call me a star, a mark, or a gullible, or whatever you want to call me, but I genuinely thought he was past this, at least for this kind of period of his life. I thought he was on the right tracks. I did not expect this, man.
I'm sighing even still, and we're days and days and days removed from it now, and it's still is a wee bit of pang of heart as a wrestling fan to hear that this fella's demons just seem to never have left him.
Yeah. Although, what I will say is, very, very slight silver linings, and it's barely silver linings. It was drink related, so it doesn't seem like he's back on painkillers and shit. He's not on opioids and whatever.
Just,
you know what I mean? So
I suppose that is a slight positive, but it seems to be, unfortunately, that addict behaviour just never seems to leave you.
Yeah.
Matt Hardy and his wife, Rebby, kind of. They were at, I think it was an autograph signing with him. They all made assurances with the venue they were going to, that there'd be no drinks served. They walk him to his hotel room. They make sure he goes into his hotel room. It was Matt Hardy's wife actually that said, other than him sleeping in between us, we couldn't have done anything else, and we're not doing that. Mm-hmm. He is a grown ass man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, above all else, I hope the guy gets the help he needs. It's a shame.
Aye. Yep. I hope he's happy and healthy. You know what I mean? That's
aye.
He's gave us enough crazy matches over the years. Like wrestling fans can't ask any medium. You know what I mean? He's gave his life and his body to the sport, the business, whatever you want to call it. So I just hope he can sort his shit out, man. If it means he needs to retire and stop taking crazy bumps, and you know what I mean, if it's the bumps that lead him towards seeking relief of some sort, then he can stop. I'm not asking him to do anymore.
I would agree with that sentiment, mate. I don't want to see him. His livelihood and his life over this kind of thing, like.
Yeah.
Aye, because he's been doing it a hell of a long time now. Obviously, I was a teenager when he was the main man. You guys were younger than teenagers. It's a sad shame. It's a sad shame. But I think we'll move on. Obviously, Jeff, we hope you're doing well. And if you are ever struggling with these kind of things, talk to somebody.
Aye.
And hopefully you guys are all right out there. The main event itself, lads, I think is the first thing we'll kind of discuss here, because this was the big sort of match on Dynamite. How did we feel about it? Obviously, it just went down to a tag match. This was with the Young Bucks and with Jurassic Express, obviously.
I don't know what the end of the match. I'm sure it would have been a fun match with the Hardys in there. I don't know what the end of the match would have looked like exactly, but I like how it played out. I think it actually benefited in some way for not having the Hardys in there. I feel like the Hardys in that match would just have been an attraction. You know what I mean?
I think you're onto something there as well, Mick. I don't think that's an unfair sort of view there. I think the fact that these are two teams in the prime of their physical condition meant that this was effectively a 15-minute rock song. Like, it was just boom, boom, boom all the way through. Like, big spot, big spot.
It was a spot fest, as you would expect with a ladder match, but they told the story that they needed to tell, and they, you know what I mean, it had substance to it. It wasn't just total indie spot fest. So it was very much enjoyable, and it's moved us in a direction that I'm happy we're moving in. You know what I mean? Like, we've got progress in the tag division finally. The titles are back in the Young Bucks, which is always great. They're phenomenal, and it means that we can hopefully see the trilogy match with FTR later in the year. I'm hoping it's going to be where the story's going. They will eventually drop the belts to FTR, one would assume. Probably at what would that be, Full Gear or something?
Full Gear or All In potentially, mate.
Yeah.
Aye, I mean, All In's only in the end of August, September time. I mean, that's coming round
Quite
so
quick.
quick.
Maybe.
Aye, like.
I mean, to be fair, if they want to, I mean, not to jump ahead too much, but if they want to go down the route of having FTR be like belt collectors, go that kind of way, they could potentially have the IWGP titles on their backs as well come then. So, you know what I mean, if they pick up then the AEW titles, they've got
I mean, conversely, could see a winner takes every belt, and it could be the Bucks that walk away with every belt.
That
Like,
is
I mean,
also possible. Aye.
both are very good scenarios, I think, because they are arguably the two biggest star teams in the world as far as tag team wrestling goes now.
Aye, absolutely, I would agree with that.
So,
and also just going back to the ladder match, we've got finally Christian goes back to heel Christian.
yes, I think
Tons
that's something
of
that's
Jungle Boy.
necessary as well as a Christian Cage heel turn. I think that's been long overdue. I think Christian's best work is as a heel.
I think it would have came probably a month or two ago if it wasn't for Ray Phoenix getting injured.
Right,
I think that sort of mixed up the plans in the tag division quite a bit. I don't know if it's entirely possible, based on the story they've told, it is entirely possible that they did want Jurassic Express to get the titles next, but it obviously has been off the match when Ray Phoenix got injured going through that table. It certainly seemed like they weren't supposed to drop the belts on that night. So aye, I don't know if it has or not, but I do like that they've told this kind of story of Jungle Boy. I'm trying to remember what the match was. I think it was like a battle royale or something. Jungle Boy or a triple threat or something.
It was a battle
Jungle
royale.
Boy-
That was
Jungle
the
Boy
casino battle royale.
Aye, so Jungle Boy effectively beat Christian in a match that would have led to
That's
the
right. So
title
that was the last two in the battle royale of All Out. No, in fact, it was Double or Nothing 2021.
Yes,
that would have
aye.
been.
Yep.
So we watched that together at the time, if I remember correctly. That was your kind of gateway back into the madness that is wrestling.
I think it was. Aye.
So I mean, this is long term storytelling.
Very much so. Aye.
In a lot of ways.
So after that, that's when Christian teamed up with Jurassic Express, and then you basically have Christian becoming a mentor to them. You know, like they shake hands after the match, they team up. He's a mentor. He helps them along, takes them all the way to the top. They win the titles. Then he starts making all these questionable decisions, booking them into all these mad matches. You know what I mean? He's volunteering Jungle Boy to get into these crazy singles matches, volunteering the tag team of Jurassic Express to defend their titles left, right, and centre. And so it would seem that they're telling this story of Christian was actually pissed off that Jungle Boy got the jump on him back in
was this a
21.
bitter veteran that was trying to put him in danger as opposed to try to push him?
He's been getting back at him, whatever it
It's like as well, do you consider that there might be a point where obviously there was the Elite versus Jurassic Express feud where Jungle Boy was going to Concerto one of the Bucks, I think, and then he decided not to, and then at the end he did, obviously. Like, they've been kind of hinting this wee sort of, I mean, obviously it's a long-term sort of heel turn.
So you have to applaud them for what they've done.
I mean, that's what you want, isn't it, man? That is what you want. Next biggest thing in the card, as far as I'm concerned, in Wednesday night, hair versus hair, the opener. Blood and guts! Blood and guts! Blood and guts! Blood and guts!
It was very much sports entertainment, wasn't it?
It was very, very sports entertainment. I mean, that's not to slag it, by the way. I actually found it to be a lot of fun.
Aye.
But very, very, very sports entertainment-y. One would suggest that Jericho is booking that entirely.
Oh, aye, that's his baby. 100% it is.
I know. He's got
having,
the say-so in that.
He's having the time of his life with that one.
The wizard.
What do you think Sammy Guevara rejoining the fold? I thought that was an interesting decision.
Oh, when he was
so obviously that, by the way, that heavy got me, by the way. I watched it and I went, Fuego, no! No way!
Do you know,
because facially they look very similar.
It wasn't until he was starting to pull the mask off that the thought went in my head of, hold on,
it's no Fuego.
That's no Fuego, he's too big.
And of course he is too shouldery to be Fuego, really.
He's a couple of inches taller and he's a good bit heavier, thicker.
Aye.
You know what I mean?
Aye.
Mm-hmm.
He is a lot bigger.
I never clicked until he stood there stationary, go to take the mask off, and I'm thinking, wait a minute, that's not Fuego, who is that?
I mean, I can see why they've paired Sammy back with Jericho. It worked originally. As a heel stable, Sammy and Jericho bantering off one another was fantastic. Like sex gods. And Ty the natural female heel.
Yep.
A female heel that's part of a stable. It's something I think they don't do enough of, is having female members of stables, like male stables, like. I think it's a good thing.
It seems the new, like, unfortunately, they've got one token female per stable, which is a wee bit of a shame.
I mean, I sit in the fence more with that. Sometimes that works.
Sometimes
That's not a bad thing.
I think, like, I mean, if you go to, the Matt Hardy office or Andrade office, whatever you would call it.
With the bunny.
With Bunny. Like, sometimes it works, sometimes it's like, man, she's a great character. I really wish that they would just let her go and be a tag wrestler or a singles wrestler. You know what I mean? Let her,
a strange example where they maybe should, mate. Aye.
But then, anyway, we're going to go down a rabbit hole with that. But it's interesting. It keeps things interesting. It's something for Sammy and Ty today. It gets him away for the TNT picture and that nonsense.
I think it's something that needed to happen with them. Obviously, the end setup of this is now we're getting a match on Forbidden Door.
That seemingly was booked by a fucking deck of playing cards.
I mean, it's random as fuck, but I'll take it because Minoru Suzuki teaming with Chris Jericho.
Who'd that?
I mean, Suzuki Gun are a very heelish faction in New Japan, so I get the logic of heels would team with heels. Fair enough, yes, I suppose so. But it was a bit of a random mishmash, wasn't it? When obviously Jericho's kind of master plan was Lance Archer and what was the name of the luchador? I could not think of who this guy was.
Fuck, what was his name?
I think he's a Suzuki Gun sort of New Japan strong guy.
Aye, he's a strong guy.
Name. But obviously he hit the ring. Aye, I know. Aye, it's L.
Pentacle with fucking. Oh, what's the name?
Can't think who it is. I can't think who it is. But I mean, again, very overly sports entertainment-y. It's Jericho in the card for Forbidden Door, and it's a star. It's interesting, actually, the team that they're facing. Shota Umino, he's very good, by the way.
I can't
Shota Umino, Wheeler Yuta, and Eddie Kingston. Shota Umino is the guy that Moxley kind of took under his wing on New Japan over in Japan.
Okay, right.
Called him Shooter all the time. Called him Shooter.
I've seen him before then, right? Okay.
Aye. So he was like a young lion. Aye. He was a young lion when he wrestled Moxley, just obviously in the black trunks and that, and
right.
Kind of from Moxley kicking his arse, Moxley kind of dragged him about everywhere with him, like, come on, Shooter, let's go this way, Shooter.
Right.
And he kind of got a good rub off of that. Obviously, we're getting back now, 3 years or something now, like, since that. But he's decent, like, it'll be a wee feature match, but it'll be fun. Like, I'm kind of looking forward to that in Forbidden Door.
Yep.
New Japan title picture, IWGP title picture, even if I want to use the correct name. Jay White attacking Hangman Page and giving Adam Cole the old cold shoulder.
Very strange, this one. First thing is the news that Okada is not going to be at Forbidden Door, which is disappointing.
There is a reason for this.
Well, I've read about this. Apparently, it's his wife's birthday that week, so he wants the week off.
No.
That's what I read.
His wife is giving birth, is what I read.
No, see, so what I read...
So it's actually just his wife's birthday?
What I read is that she's due to give birth about, I think it was 2 weeks after or something like that. Because that was the initial thought. Like, she's due to pop, that's why he's not wrestling. He's not coming to America. But it's actually, she's due a few weeks after, but it's her birthday that week. So they want a day saw him because it'll be the last week that the current following comes. That's what I read.
Right, okay.
Well, that's true or no, I don't know. That's probably been released by somebody in Japanese and translated and passed about. So.
I mean, you just never know, of course, for translations for Japanese to English. But I mean, it's a shame. It is a shame that you're missing out on an Okada appearance potentially on a pay-per-view as big as this.
Yep.
I mean, the trade-off, I suppose, is that you get perhaps a three-way. It's looking like a triple threat. So
I mean, seemingly that's what they're setting up here. Three-way or a four-way or something, but I don't know. I mean, they've not got much time to set it up now. You know,
I mean, this week coming will effectively kind of tell you what direction this is going in very quickly. I have no concerns about the quality of match if it's Adam Cole, Adam Page, and Jay White. Oh, obviously,
they'll produce a phenomenal match. Aye. And there's some interesting stories to tell. They've all got history with one another. Up until Jay White telling Adam Cole he's not getting a match, they were best of buds, helping one another out with Bullet Club.
That was the kind of Bullet Club tie-in, of course.
Undisputed Elite. So, I don't know.
Did you perhaps see Jay White's promo after winning the IWGP title?
I've no watched.
Where he referred to himself as the catalyst of pro wrestling. obviously cutting kayfabe, obviously. And I'm paraphrasing here when I say this. Like, I'm not going to give you it verbatim, but essentially he called to the fact that he beat Kenny Omega for the IWGP US title. That caused Kenny Omega to run from New Japan. If Kenny Omega didn't run, you wouldn't get AEW, you wouldn't get the Bucks, you wouldn't get this jobber Adam Page becoming a champ, you wouldn't get Adam Cole, you wouldn't get the DMD era, you wouldn't get anything fun in pro wrestling without the Switchblade.
Yep.
He's the catalyst. He says he's the catalyst for everything that is enjoyable. You wouldn't get Forbidden Door. It's all down to him.
Right.
I love that arrogant heel kind of that Jay White is. I love the arrogance of him. He's slightly underappreciated, I think.
Do you know what?
As a star, but I've got to say I love the Switchblade.
Bloody shame that Kenny Omega's no primed and ready to come back, because that would like, see if Jay White walks out on Dynamite next week and says that, do you know what, I'm not even going to wrestle in Forbidden Door. This is my title and I don't need to defend it. You don't deserve it. And then Kenny Music's music hits and it's Omega versus Jay White at Forbidden Door. That would be unreal.
That would be incredible. Well, I mean, that was the thing he said. I'm no facing the Hangman. I'm no facing you either. I'm facing somebody, but I'm not telling you who.
Aye.
Could you imagine if it's actually Kenny Omega?
I mean,
Oh, it'd be brilliant.
I would lose my shit.
I'm praying that it's Omega.
What a story that would be.
What, man? I mean, if Kenny Omega walks out on Wednesday, wherever they are, the place will come unglued.
Or
And I will roar in my house
do you know what?
in earshot.
Do you know what would be? What would be
They
more?
will hear me.
What would be more in line with AEW is that if Jay White cuts a promo that teases that it's Omega, but he says that we're not going to find out until Forbidden Door, and we have to wait until like the main event of Forbidden Door, or
To see who
maybe the co-main
appears.
event if they decide to go with the main event being the AEW title. But anyway,
Aye.
but I mean, you would think that would be the main event if that was the way they were going.
I mean, it would have to be, wouldn't it, man?
Aye.
It would definitely have to be.
God, I'm hoping now.
I mean,
Shit.
I know.
I'm gonna be
It's the hope
disappointed.
that, it is the hope that kills you, man, isn't it? It really is. What a main event that would be if it was Kenny Omega fit again. I mean, I don't know where Kenny Omega's fitness is. Obviously, he's been off since, I mean, it's 7 months now. By fuck are they missing him as well? Like, they really are missing him.
Yeah.
I hope so. I really hope so, lads. I've got it in my head that it could happen. So it's going to disappoint me if it's not. And it's not going to be their fault because the man had some serious injury problems.
Oh, it was falling
Really-
apart, man. It's amazing that you kept going as long as you did.
he was held together with happy thoughts alone. So he is allowed time to rest. He really is. I'll tell you what though, right? TV match of the year potentially here. And I mean, again, I'm speaking for prejudice here as a Dax Harwood mark. I really enjoyed Dax versus Will Ospreay
Phenomenal.
as a standalone match. This was fucking outstanding.
I just so wish that it meant more than it did. You know what I mean? That it was part of some big program. I mean, maybe it leads into something down the line. You know what I mean? Maybe it's more long term stuff. But in the moment, it just felt like that match was so good. I wish that had something outside of the match itself. It just felt like that needed to be either the culmination of something or the catalyst for something else.
I mean, I think that's the magic of Dax Harwood, though, is that, see, even if there isn't a story going into the match, he's going to make you care by the finish. Like, he has that ability to wrestle anybody, and make it look like a fucking fight.
Yeah.
He hit Will Ospreay with a chop so hard that I covered my own chest. It was like watching Walter, independent wrestler Walter, before he was WWE Walter, Gunther, whatever you want to call him. Like, the chop Dax hit him with, I don't even get me started.
Pre-Nazi Walter.
Man. I Gunther. before he broke my heart, well, he didn't. He fucking sex pest did. But anyway, let's leave that out of here. This is AEW Mash. The chop, the noisy those two chops in that corner. Fuck! It was incredible.
I have watched, I don't know how many matches with guys like the Big Show, and they hit some crazy chops, but I've never heard a noise like that. Never heard a noise like that for a chop.
It was the shaking his hand like, shit, ouch. Like,
And
probably
Ospreay, of course, is phenomenal at selling. The way he drops to the ground and he's writhing in pain and stuff, man, like, that was brutal.
Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega are so close to being the same person as a wrestler,
They
by
should
the
be
way.
brothers, man. They are unreal.
They are the same person as far as the ability to sell and the heelishness and the sheer athleticism.
Some of the movements and stuff that they do as well.
Look, the way they move, like in the cut angle style, kick out at the absolute death of a 2 count. Like there was a late 2 kick out that he had that was. I just thought, fuck, I miss Kenny Omega. Like that's what I could think when he did it. It was so similar to Kenny Omega. It was a phenomenal 10 minutes or so that they were on,
Aye.
kind of 12 minutes or whatever it was. It flew past.
However, we somehow out of that now have a match between Ospreay and Orange Cassidy.
But are you slightly intrigued?
Well,
Because
right,
I kind of am.
it's another one of these where I'm thinking, actually, I like that match. It's probably going to be really fun.
It's
But
going to be hilarious.
why? Okay, so Orange Cassidy, he's part of, is it Chaos?
You can draw lines between it all. Like
Aye.
Roppongi Vice, part of Chaos, part of the Best
Aye.
Friends. That's why Roppongi Vice are in there with FTR and the United Empire. Fair enough. I mean, it's incredibly janky, clunky
Aye.
booking, but you can draw some sort of logic in it.
Mm-hmm.
There's logic. You're really
You're stretching, it's barely logic.
Aye.
It's like,
So
here's the
so
thing.
why
though.
no?
See if you've barely even heard of NGPW and you're just purely an AEW fan, like you've rediscovered pro wrestling for the first time in 20 years and you've got really into AEW, you've got to be scratching your head watching this play out.
It's a bit, I feel like, but I think Orange Cassidy gets a lot of pass where other wrestlers wouldn't, just because the sloth is going to be very entertaining when the bell rings, and you're going to get 15 minutes of utter comedy, excitement, drama,
Aye.
and then probably an epic finish.
Aye.
Like you're going to get it all with Orange Cassidy. Like I can still remember the first Orange Cassidy match on a pay-per-view against Pac at Revolution 2020.
Right.
And I'm no joking, it's probably the biggest reaction of the night.
Right.
Like, comparable to the main event with Moxley and Jericho. Like,
Tell you what,
I mean,
Pac isn't a bad comparison to Ospreay as well in the terms of the way he wrestles and stuff. Like, sort of slightly smaller guy who can do heavyweight stuff, but also is somehow seemingly strung by an invisible wire and can do some crazy aerial
so
stuff.
junior heavyweight that moves like a Marvel superhero.
Aye.
Like so I can understand the science of why that's a good fit. And it'll probably be we'll be talking about it post pay-per-view and we'll be saying
It could absolutely,
fucking hell, how good was that?
It could absolutely steal the show.
It has potential, and while you want as much storyline in wrestling and as much reason to care about what you're watching, sometimes an epic match out of nowhere is just as much needed on a pay-per-view card. Like, so I get this.
Mm-hmm.
I get this. Like, I do get this. Willow Nightingale, lads. Harvey, you love a bit of Willow Nightingale, mate.
Yeah.
Obviously, we got a wee Rampage match for Willow. Yep. Talk to me, mate.
Good. No, it was a good match, man. It was a good match. Actually, Jade Cargo, give her dues. Give her her dues. Was not a bad match either. It's like she's improving. Every time I see her, she's improving bit by bit. So, we'll see what the future holds for her.
It's something I think we need to always remember with Jade is that while she's not a natural in this game, she's definitely working hard to try be as good as she can be. Willow Nightingale, we're all big fans of Willow on this podcast. We are, some more than others.
She was impressive again.
She's genius, man. She's genius.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to assume at this point that they're keeping her as Ring of Honor talent.
I think that might be the case.
The matches that she's had, surely to Christ, she would have been signed and announced as All Elite by now.
She's over as fuck as well. She's so
really
over. Folk love her. They love her. We love her. Christ, listen to us. Listen to me.
Yeah, Athena coming out.
See that?
And again, Athena comes out and hits her top rope stunner sort of thing.
It bums me out, man, that like the underlings go to take the bump and then Jade hits her with a pump kick. Again, Athena doesn't get to put her hands on her. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They're just.
And that punt kick was a bit rough, wasn't it, man? Jeez, oh, she got every inch of that punt kick, man. Woof.
They're protecting Jade with the kind of booking decisions there a wee bit.
Aye.
But I mean, what it does do is it gives me a bit of faith that Athena might actually be the one that takes that title off her. Because they're heavily going in that direction with what they're showing us.
But again, funnily enough, Statlander runs out, and and who gets the biggest cheer aside for Willow? Statlander.
Aye.
Mm-hmm.
She should be that champion. She should be the TBS
They have
champion.
an
right now.
interesting problem there. They have people who are over as fuck that are maybe not quite at the top of the queue.
Yep.
It's getting more interesting as it goes along, this TBS title picture. Like it's getting slightly better. Could it still go very wrong?
It's just
Potentially.
that Jade Cargill's holding that sort of, I was going to say the division, that section of the division up.
The time for her to move on is came. I think she needs to be going towards the.
Yep.
I think it would do it a favour, certainly. Did you see as well that there is a women's match, in fact, on Forbidden Door?
No, I don't think. I'm racking my brain.
So this was announced for Forbidden Door. Thunder Rosa versus Tony Storm.
That's right. Aye, I did see that.
So two women who have history within working in Japan.
That's right.
Which I feel is why this has been booked. Obviously, Tony Storm previously of Stardom. I think Thunder Rosa worked in Joshi Pro a lot, so she did. Yep. So there's a kind of presence over there for they two women. And again, we talked about this last week. Why Roppongi Vice are kind of featuring a lot now with Trent.
There we go. Oh, I probably just shouted about that.
Come on,
I made some notes, so I did when I was watching the wrestling this week. I've wrote Tony Storm going over Britt clean is big. She needs to be the next challenger and must lose to a heel turning Rosa. And then followed that with, as expected, match now announced for Forbidden Door.
So you did in fact know, you just forgot that,
So for me, based on how things have went, based on the fact that Thunder Rosa apparently is a bit of an arsehole.
Rumours would have us believe. There's a bit of an issue there.
She's no really championship material. However, it would seem she's a bit of a natural heel. So take what is fell into your lap, turn Rosa heel, have Tony Storm take her to the brink, and then Thunder Rosa has to do something heelish just to get in and be a heel in order to win the match.
Have a mad intense heel that is constantly harping on about how everybody should love her.
Yep. She's been so underappreciated. She's no getting.
You don't appreciate me.
No TV time.
Don't cut out my music. No, that sort of stuff. You could see the promo. Don't you got it? Like ranting like a chump.
The voice that she's got when she gets going as well. It's perfect for a heel.
She's very shrill. Aye, like she's very shrill. She's got the shrill voice for it. It's a good shout, Mick. I like that. I do like that. I think it's
the only thing that can save that title run.
It would definitely help the women's title.
If she goes over clean and retains that title, then I mean, send her to Japan if you want, but I'm not wanting her back in AEW TV.
See, this is the thing I wonder, whether there's kind of news that Thunder Rosa is going to go work in Japan kind of in the near future for a wee bit. So you wonder if a title change is coming. There
was a match announced. Now, I don't remember the lass's name, so apologies, but there was a match announced for a Joshi Pro show, and it was the champ, I believe it was the champion, versus a silhouette.
Right.
So the chat is Rosa may very well retain the title and then be the one to go over and feature in that match.
Right, okay.
I don't know when that match is though. I don't know when it is.
It's not. I've not done a great deal of research into what's going on with. I just know that she is going to work in Japan. Know quite what she's doing exactly. Well, she's over there, obviously.
Yep.
It's. I think Tony Storm would be a good AEW Women's Champion. We'll give it. Even the way you're talking about like a heel Thunder Rosa, like something needs to change. I actually really like that. The more I think about that, the more I'm into that.
Turn Rosa heel, right? Have her retain, but by turning heel and getting into it and being who she really is, and she's got plenty of fodder there to work with in terms of why she's not happy with this thing and that thing. She can go away to Japan and do whatever they're doing there. Toni Storm can be winning matches, building her case for getting another chance because she was cheated out of the win. Thunder Rosa comes back. You know what I mean? Like, he's asking where I've been and wanting me back. Well, he's didn't deserve me in the first place, blah, blah, blah. And then you build towards next pay-per-view. They have their rematch and Toni Storm can take the belt, potentially.
It's not a bad bit of booking there, mate. I tell you what, man, we should speak to Tony Khan about your father here. You're making a hell of a lot of sense this week. I've got to
Somebody
say
get me Tony Khan on the blower.
Get that Tony Khan on the phone. Michael would like a word. Well, lads, Forbidden Door card so far. So this is what we've got on the card so far. John Moxley versus Hiroshi Tanahashi for the AEW World Title. We have Will Ospreay versus interim. Good. Asterix. The way you said that effectively put an asterisk next to it. Will Ospreay versus Orange Cassidy. Thunder Rosa versus Toni Storm. FTR versus Roppongi Vice versus United Empire. Jeff Cobb and Great Khan. We also have Jericho, Minoru Suzuki and Sammy Guevara against Shota Umino, Wheeler Yuta, Eddie Kingston, and we have the All-Atlantic 4-way match to crown a new AEW All-Atlantic champion. Obviously, lastly, Miro versus Vera versus Orange Cassidy. No, can't even talk. Miro versus All Ego Ethan Page, lads. Just final thought. Get to see Miro continuing his week in a streak of wins. Is it a possibility that this could be Miro being a champion again? God's favourite champion with a belt?
Possibly, but
Russian people.
It was feeling almost like a babyface Miro.
It's very aye.
It was interesting the way they're going with it. So that doesn't even necessarily work quite as well with the God's favourite.
Aye, well, he's kind of God's favourite champion. Aye.
I don't know.
Sold more than I thought, like, in a match, I've got to say. I mean, I get Ethan Page is a big lumpier boy and he's a big strong boy. He is. Absolutely is. Was it dominant enough?
What did you think of that match, Harvey? Ethan Page and Miro. Saying a lot without saying a lot.
Can't even remember how that bloody match went, to be honest.
It was pretty back and forth.
It was a very back and forth match.
Ethan Page had a good bit of it. Miro won by basically getting pissed off and looking up the
Hulk.
What's he calling it?
Hulking up, as it were.
Game over.
Formerly the accolade,
which just turned into a real naked joke. He didn't even do it right.
Ethan Page doesn't really bend the same way these like heavyweights bend. Aye, he was having none of this bend backwards double shit. He was just like, nah, fine, choke me.
That's right. I remember because it was him be Dan Lambert. And that,
Dan Lambert was at the side.
Yep.
Dan Lambert actually gave Miro a slap. Worked or not, I don't envy him.
Very dangerous thing to do, man. Very dangerous. What did you think? Obviously, in fact, we'll end on this. In fact, the Wardlow fiasco.
Well, the note that I made on that match was Wardlow's situation was an embarrassment.
Fuck.
Like, I don't even get what the fuck.
How do you drop the ball so hard? And
so the announcer didn't know the rules for a start. She was eliminating people before they were in fact eliminated. Poor Dasha has no idea what's going on. So then he's pinning folk face down. No, that doesn't work either. That doesn't work either. So what the fuck are you doing?
Since when can you pin 6 guys stacked on one another?
That's not how pinning works.
Some are facing
breaking
up,
the rules of pinning.
It's just stupid.
It was like that bit in The Force Awakens where Han Solo's like, that's not how the Force works. That's not how wrestling works.
And some of the jobbers that they've hired, man, Jesus Christ, it looked like they'd never taken a powerbomb before.
Oh God, it was just
unlucky for them.
It's a shame to end on this note because it was a fun episode.
Matt Hughes and Tyrone Woodley.
why?
Explain to me the deal with Matt Hughes. Is this a man who's had a serious accident before?
Oh, fuck, so Matt Hughes...
Because these two men stormed the ring and I thought, oh no, that's a shame.
Aye, so Matt Hughes...
That's not doing that poor man any favours.
About 4 years ago, right? Matt Hughes, MMA legend, former welterweight champion in the UFC, long time welterweight champion.
So obviously former ATT guy as well.
Yep.
Obviously, aye.
He was driving somewhere, don't know where he was going, but his pickup truck gave up the ghost when he was crossing railroad tracks.
Oh God!
And his car got ploughed by a train. He had a serious brain injury.
Fuck.
He was in a coma for a long time. It is a miracle that man's alive, and he has some.
So it's lovely to see the man is okay. Above
he
all
has some
else,
serious health implications because of that accident. As you can see by the, he's not steady in his feet and stuff like that.
Really
his
unsteady.
Talking's not great and stuff. You know what I mean?
Aye.
It's a shame, man.
It was a shameless look at the UFC guys in the ring ploy, and it looked.
I can't mind that. Why did he stay in the bloody truck though?
Mm.
I'm guessing he was trying to get it going and decided not to run. I don't know. Genuinely.
I mean, God knows, but it was a very. It's nice to see the guys okay in that, but did this need to happen on AEW TV? Did they need UFC guys here turning in Dan Lambert?
Makes
no
sense.
they didn't. It was awful. It was awful. Absolutely awful.
You're now
19 days in a coma.
How many, sorry?
Is that how long he was in?
19 days in a medically induced coma.
He was in a bad way, so he was.
Well, I mean, the positive of this whole thing is it's nice to see the guys keeping okay, and he's out and about and all that.
Yeah, he
that's
seems
lovely
happy when you see him and stuff now.
Aye,
but
aye, that's good. Like,
what did he do here? Like, so seemingly now we're moving along with Wardlow's going to challenge for the TNT title, but Scorpio seemingly still isn't fit.
Still isn't fit for it. Yeah, so he's injured.
God knows how long it is going to be until he's ready to go. Like, seemingly now, the ATT gym is now no siding with Dan Lambert. Like, what? Like, it's Paige, Van Zandt, and Austin, Vanderford, and whoever, are they still with him? So are they against the gym? Or
what's
happening?
It's the one black mark on that episode of Dynamite. There was a very enjoyable episode aside for this bit.
And the last thing I'll say, they're still going with the clunky entrance, and that makes me angry.
Oh, the kind of
so it's like
walking through
the Goldberg kind of
area.
Aye. But see, I wouldn't be too mad at it if his music hits, then the camera cuts to him, then he does the walk.
I notice he's got his new entrance music now. So he didn't come out to the old "This Is War."
Oh no, he did.
So that's new music he's got now. Aye.
Right.
He's got his new music now.
Did you hear that he had other new music? Did you hear about this?
Aye, that they chose not to use.
So they commissioned new music for Wardlow that should have debuted last week or 2 weeks ago, depending.
Which is what we speculated, of course.
But then they decided last minute that it was too similar to Goldberg's music, and they thought that's going to be too much on the nose. We can't use that.
Nose. But yeah, they'll continue the walk for the backstage. That is, I mean, it's so far on the nose. I feel that we're looking through a nostril at it. Like, it's so ridiculously on the nose. Right. It's something that I think needs to move on, man. I said it at the time. If this is 1 week, fair enough. Don't give me any more of it. And I hope it's done in 2 weeks. I hope this is the last date.
I'd put money on it that Smart Mark Sterling is cutting a promo next week, and it trickles on just a wee bit longer.
Give me no more. Just no more, please. No more. Give me a random match of Wardlow versus Ishii. Give me the Stone Pitbull no selling stuff, and that would at least be fun. That's like Stone Pitbull no selling chops and all that against Wardlow hulking at him. At least give me that. You've put me through 2 weeks of utter shit with Wardlow. It's a bloody shame. At least then you could say he's beat somebody that's a bit hard. Oh, lads, anyway, as much as I could talk forever about AEW, and I could. It's time to get ourselves out of here. As always, MMA Mash dropped one day before. Give it a look. It's a good week apart of this week. It really is. Look out for the joke at the end for Harvey Smith, by the way. Absolutely world-class patter from the big man. It really is. Tomorrow we are going to be followed by Moto Mash, and we've got a full Canadian Grand Prix to talk about. If you like a bit of F1. If you don't, well, fuck you. Nah, I'm only kidding. I just did that to pop the boys there. But anyway, as always, spread the word. Say whatever you want about us. We just like getting talked about. We like folk listening to us. I have been Paul. That has been the workhorse macho mook. And that's been Hulk Harvey, the real Caymanian. I got through this week without getting anybody's name wrong.
No.
Oh, yes. Thank you. Much love. Goodbye. Bye, driver. See you later.
To the back.
Bye, driver.